Isabel.
And I'm Bella.
And we are very excited to be here today. Just want to first say thank you so much. If you haven't seen Beyond Basketball yet, go back and watch that now, because this is our director's cut.
Yeah, don't watch this director's cut until you've watched the documentary. Okay. For context, Isabel and I met our sophomore year of high school, but we really didn't get to know each other until our junior year when we were both in a class called digital journalism. And basically what we did in that class was we would run the live stream announcements every week for our high school. And so through that class we met and we started making videos together, like really random ones like elf reenactments or like a little like thriller horror, which you should totally check it out. Go to my YouTube channel. But yeah, as we made those videos, we started to realize, hey, we make a really good team. Like, this is fun. Yeah. And so one day we were sitting up in the digital journalism room, and I was sitting at my desk. We were editing a video or something like that, and Isabel just turns to me and she says, hey, you want to make a documentary?
I was thinking about this for a while. I was like, I don't want to do this by myself. Like, that's boring. Like, I feel like it'd be fun to have like a partner or like maybe a crew. And Belle and I had started like creating a lot of content together at the time. I was like, I'm just gonna pitch it to her as a joke and just see what happens. And I like pitched it to her and she was just like, oh yeah, we're doing that. I was like, like no, like she was all in, and she was like asking so many questions, and I was like, whoa. I was low-key not being like all that serious, but then like actually I was like I did have a story in mind. My career at Lutheran South started as a basketball manager. I was not a player, obviously, but I also wasn't a coach. I was in this in-between little situation, knowing the coaches in that personal way and hearing like their insights on the basketball side of things while simultaneously hearing and being a peer of the players and being their friend and serving them all the time. I knew that we had a really great team. I knew there was something special there, and you can see that in the documentary, just how much we truly loved each other and still do. That team was one of a kind, and I really wanted to tell that story. But more than that, I wanted to show stuff that fans don't get to see. If you're a basketball fan, you can go to a high school basketball game whenever, but that doesn't mean that you get to see all the practices these people go through, these players. You don't get to see any of the discussions that happen right before that awesome play that your favorite player did. And so I wanted to show those things that go beyond that baseline, that go beyond just what you see surface level. There were two obvious directions we could have taken this documentary, so we had a choice to make. One, we could have taken it this route of promoting the program. We were journalism students, and so we're used to like doing news and promotional videos and making content like that. And so we were like, we can make like this huge like video that really promotes the program and talks about the program and shows you like this is how Lutheran South raises amazing basketball players from kindergarten all the way through their senior year. Or we can make it about our team and maybe tie in some of those things, but really just make it about this season because it is a really cool season. Like, not very often you win 2 district championships in a row, you get bumped up a class, you go against the returning state champions. Like, I mean, that's pretty epic. And to have a team that was young that previous year that's matured a lot and can be really freaking good, that was pretty cool. And so I think we really wanted to tell that, but we're kind of confused, and so it took a long time for us to really realize and know, oh, that's our story.
We decided we wanted to do the documentary, and we would have done it no matter what. But at the end of junior year, we were talking to a teacher at one point, and he said, you can make this an independent study and get credit for it, and it'll appear on your transcript by the end of the year. And so that kind of got the ball rolling of us creating this documentary project as an independent study.
It was really awesome to have the opportunity to be supported by our school. We would have gotten support no matter what, but just to have that on our high school transcripts, and that just shows evidence that we learned something.
Right afterwards, when summer hit, we started researching as much as we could. We watched documentaries like Undefeated and Last Chance U. I feel like Last Chance Du does a really good job of capturing the players, like the players as people, but also like all the hard work that goes into practices, which is exactly what the story Isabel wanted to tell.
And with Undefeated, I think why that one kind of stuck for us too was just that very candid style of filming. Like that was like the whole inspiration behind the Mizzou scene of us being in the separate cars and recording like the coaches talking, and just that travel and just like the pace of the film even we were very inspired by.
It felt like making a documentary was a little bit more approachable, because if you watch a lot of films out there, they feel like really high-tech professional stuff, and we were just two teenage girls. We didn't own a video camera. At the time, we didn't have editing software or laptops at all. We just had our smartphones. Yeah, and that was it. So Undefeated kind of provided an example of how we can make like a lower budget documentary but still tell a really good story.
At the start of our summer, when we started like researching all this stuff about documentaries, we also were in the middle of summer basketball, and so at the time we didn't really know, where does our documentary start? Like, where does our story start? Like, we have this idea, we have this big picture, but at the end of the day, we don't know where our story begins. We don't know where it ends because we haven't done the season yet. And so every Lutheran South basketball season starts in the summer. That's fresh, new beginning, you get your new team, that's where it begins. And so I followed that entire team as a manager, but mainly as a videographer throughout that whole summer. You probably, I think, in total saw 3 shots that I took in the final cut of the documentary, but there's probably hours worth of game footage just from the summer alone. That's not very good. It was shot on a little iPad. Had no idea what we're doing. Never shot sports in my life. The most, like she said earlier, was like making elf reenactments, like silly videos like that were very unserious, not long term. And so this project was intimidating. It was intimidating being, so ignorant about everything, but wanting to learn and truly wanting to grow. We kicked off that study before we even started our senior year of high school officially by watching all these documentaries and watching all these YouTube videos and reading and more reading and sharing content. And through all that stuff that we absorbed and gathered, we took what we found to be the most valuable and just resonated most with the story that we were trying to tell. We took that and we created an annotated bibliography.
And that's kind of how our documentary started. It began with 2 teenage girls joking about wanting to make a movie and then eventually making it happen.